recipes for technical trading success in Cook's Kitchen.
Welcome to the wide world of FinTech. We're going to take a whirling wind tour of FinTech today. Hey, did you get this trade last week? Or actually this week? This is Affirm Holdings. Popped on Monday, 46.7%. Why? Because they partnered with Amazon in buy now, pay later. And that was sort of put on our radar a few weeks ago when Square decided to shell out $29 billion in stock to buy Afterpay from Australia, which specializes in consumer buy now, pay later, where they set up the installments with little or no interest. So this was Affirm with that big pop. FinTech. I'm going to show you 250 companies, maybe 200 of them you don't even know about. And we want to, well, I should just say that I didn't know anything about Affirm, so I missed this trade. Let's look at a few other interesting FinTech IPOs of late. Here's Coinbase. Now, if you bought Coinbase anywhere near the IPO, you're still underwater. But if you were bottom fishing this summer, 220, 240, even 250, you're in the green. That's nice. Let's look at another interesting player, and Coinbase, obviously the crypto exchange, SoFi. And we're going to look at what they do shortly. But if you got in the SoFi IPO, you're barely making any money, and the stock has spent most of its time, between 15 and 25. And fighting to get back there now from 1450. We'll just take a glance at SoFi real quick to show you all the different things they do. They're trying to be this universal FinTech app for consumers, investing, personal loans, credit card, insurance, credit scoring and budget, auto loan, refinancing, home loans. All right, where I'm going to take you right now is CBD Insights. CBD Insights is a private research firm that sells research to institutions and individuals at all different, price points. But they put out some really good content. And we're going back. This is September 1st, 2021. So I feel it's okay to show you their top 250 FinTech firms from 2020, which they put out September 1st. 2020. I have this page blown up, zoomed in like 150% so that I can show you this awesome graphic they have. This is their FinTech 250 in about 20 different industry categories, from accounting and finance to regulatory and compliance. Well, let's just take a glance through here. And I'm going to point out companies that I recognize and that you might recognize. Obviously, we can't even discuss 10% of them. We'll try and discuss, 2 or 3% of them. Nothing really jumps out at me in capital markets or accounting and finance, but point of sale and consumer lending, there's a firm right there. You've also got Bread and Klarna in here. Regulatory and compliance, that's sort of a behind the scenes area that, is going to be more business to business, right? Firm, it's not B2C, it's B2B for firms that need regulatory and compliance services behind the scenes on the back end. Real estate and mortgage, there's plenty of room to disrupt real estate and mortgages, as we know, just like any disruptive innovation, that's taking down the banks or getting the banks to evolve and decentralize finance. I don't recognize anything. Juniper Square. I wanted to talk about them. Hey, Juniper Square. It looks like they almost have the same font as Square. Let's take a look at Juniper Square, because here it is. Modern investment management. So they've got a software platform to help the real estate investor raise capital, vet investments, automate their operations, and delight their investors. So you think of yourself, if you're, I don't know if the individual will find services here to use right away, but maybe the small property manager is definitely going to find tools here to use to manage their business better. All right, back to the CB 250 FinTech Map. By the way, you can go on CBD Insights and get a list of these. You won't get this graphic, but what they'll send you, I'll show you for free if you sign up for it, is you'll get the FinTech 250 from 2020 in an Excel spreadsheet. And you get all the names. I think the whole thing is alphabetical. And then it tells you what industry, what country they're in, total disclosed funding so far, and then select investors, which I think is just an awesome resource. Because even though this is last year's list, just looking at this, you're going to get ideas. You're going to get ideas, and you're going to know about something before it comes public, before they do an IPO. You're going to say, oh yeah, I remember those guys. And so you just want to have more of these smaller companies on your radar. And these are the emerging fintech companies. There's no Square or PayPal's on here. Maybe Coinbase was still on here before it went public, that kind of thing. All right, so back to the Fintech Map here. What else stood out? So payroll and benefits, I think, is going to be a huge area for disruption too, as we move beyond just human resources to human capital management, and companies want to provide more services to employees, to make their work life and their personal life blend together in ways that make life easier, right? All right, asset management, again, that's sort of on the behind the scenes, just like regulatory and compliance. Insurance, no, I mean, look at all the companies in insurance. There's Root. I'm going to show you Root. Zebra's there. I've heard of Zebra before. Sounds like they've got a great model where they're working even harder to search all insurance providers and get you the best quote. Hippo is in there. So let's take a look at Root, because this one's pretty interesting. So you could save hundreds on your car insurance. How? Their app is going to observe your driving and collect data for 2 weeks. And based on how good of a driver you score, then you are going to get a better rate from the insurance companies that they use. Sounds like a cool idea. I mean, if you're a good driver, or you can display that you're a good driver for whatever that period is of measurement, and you score well, it seems like something that makes sense, right? You should be rewarded for being a good driver. So that's pretty cool. So keep Root on your radar. All right, let's keep going through here. Payments and processing, obviously a huge area. Let's see who's in here that Stripe was still in here. I don't even know that. No, I don't think Stripe has gone public yet, has it? But they would be probably one of the biggest, have some of the biggest revenue of anything else in here. Toast, really interesting company, just like Root and Juniper Square. Let's take a look at Toast. Here we go. Built to make your restaurant better. This is just almost like SoFi for personal finance. This is automation for restaurants. Whether it's pricing, inventory, ordering, scheduling, deliveries, all that stuff. They're going to automate you. They say point of sale was just the beginning. And like with any software as a service, especially these small companies, they do tend to start with one service they provide and do it really well and then expand. So I'm guessing that Toast may have started with point of sale and now doing contactless ordering, providing handhelds, marketing, payroll and team management. And I also came across another one. I can't remember. It's not on this list. I just saw it on Twitter, and I talked to an investor about it. They're focused on helping restaurants create their front end just for delivery. I forget what the term is for that nowadays, but if some restaurants just want, if it's a virtual kitchen, that just does delivery, so it's helping some restaurants migrate and evolve to that. All right, back to the list here. Lending and finance, big opportunities there. Financial services and automation. I don't recognize any names there right now. Let's see. Core banking and infrastructure. Again, a lot of these companies, even if they went public, you may not hear about them or know what they do if they're providing these behind the scenes services for banks or small companies. Mobile wallets and remittances, digital banking. Who's in here? I thought I had somebody in here I wanted to talk about. Oh, there's Chime. Chime has got this model where they're going to help you improve your credit score right away. And in fact, they advertise like within seconds, after you input your information, you'll watch your credit score bump up, I don't know, 10 points or something. I had a financial expert explain it to me recently. One of the things they're doing is, it's not that they're getting some kind of vig or kickback from a lender. It's that once they create a new account for you, and you deposit money in it, then they have this, they can do a ratio on that account of, what you owe, if it's a credit account versus what you have deposited. They can create all kinds of ratios to make the credit scoring companies make their metrics view your credit in a higher light. So those are some of the things a lot of these smaller companies are doing. Personal finance, a lot of guys in here. So definitely go to CBD Insights and sign up. See if you can get the old list just so you have it and so you can view this map. All right, let's see who else I want to talk about. So Walmart obviously has wanted to be a bank for a while. Not that we care about Walmart. What I want to talk about is their sort of secret partner called Ribbit. Ribbit is this investment fund you've probably never heard of that is just trying to get involved in all of these early fintech deals, and sort of be a library of all these apps if they invest in them. And it looks like Ribbit has invested in Robinhood, Credit Karma, and Affirm. And Walmart they stole a couple of key Goldman Sachs people that built Marcus to $97 billion in deposits. So obviously Walmart, they're not trying to be the bank of Walmart, but they definitely want to be in the space. Now I want to tell you about another company I just discovered, and that's Movin. Wasn't on the CB list. They claim to have the only patent for financial wellness, and they just struck a deal with a small bank. Let me just show you. Here are their flexible solutions. And, it looks a lot like, any payment or wallet app or credit scoring app like a Chime. There's not a lot of innovative stuff here that nobody else is doing. So I would really want to learn more about their behavioral finance patent. But here was the partnership they struck. Two small banks, I think B1 Bank is in Louisiana and the Dallas area, like 40 branches or something. And then Citizen Bank of Edmond, they selected Movin and another software provider called Q2 to deliver new personalized digital banking solutions. So they're trying, the regional banks, the small banks, realize it's adapt or die time, if they're not being swallowed by a Chase or a BOFA. And so they're trying to get into fintech and provide more digital services to consumers, to keep the deposits, because that's where the money is for them. All right, who else did I want to show you here? Well, we looked at the SoFi price chart. There's Movin. I think I covered everything. So, keep an eye. If you get this list and you follow these companies, you'll start to know what the trends are and who's paying what for what. Obviously, a lot of these companies could get swallowed even before they go public. But when they do, we might know how to evaluate them. We just don't want to be the investor that gets super excited about the IPO and pays $25 for a SoFi, and then looks to be sitting underwater for a long time. All right. Let me one last look at my list here to make sure I covered everything. I showed you the spreadsheet. We talked about 10 or 12 different fintech companies. Yeah, that's it. All right. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen. We'll talk to you next week.